Welcome to Champagne Therapy, a podcast consisting of therapeutic conversations on wine, adult life, and pop culture. Each week we discuss life and what we are drinking to add a little sparkle to it. I'm your host, Bossy, and I'm your 30-something-year-old non-licensed therapist navigating through life in Phoenix, Arizona. Before we begin, grab your drink and a friend of your choice, and let's dive into this week's session of Champagne Therapy. Hi guys, welcome back to another session of Champagne Therapy, the podcast. I'm your host, Bossy, and it feels so good to be back. I know you guys have been wondering where I've been, but this episode isn't about that. As you read from the title, this is actually a co-podcast episode with my girls from the podcast Molly with the Most and Tall Girl Tuesdays. So definitely enjoy it and join me next week for a podcast episode about my break and a little bit of an update kind of situation about me. So after we get into the sponsor ad, we are going to jump right into the co-podcast with the girls. And like I said, join me next week for an update podcast about me and how things have been going. I hope you guys have been staying safe. Check it out. Check me out on Instagram. Like I've been on there consistently. Just call me Bossy, and I will be back on the Champagne Therapy podcast Instagram as well. So check us out there. Enjoy. Hi there, it's Bossy from Champagne Therapy, and I'm coming to you to tell you about an app, Anchor. It's the same app that I used to record my first episode of Champagne Therapy. It was super easy compared to some of the other apps, and it's absolutely free. All you need to do is download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. You record and edit your podcast. They'll distribute your podcast for you to Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You will also make money off your podcast. Definitely download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, welcome to another episode of Champagne Therapy. Your host, Bossy, is back, and I'm doing my first ever co-podcast. I do have a couple of ladies joining me today, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Let's go ahead and start off with Molly from Molly with the Most podcast.
Hi, everyone. It is Molly, and as she said, with Molly with the Most podcast. My podcast is really just about any and everything that's millennial. So that's just me. I do a little talking junk, talking mess, but nothing specific, just things that's going on in the world with me and others. But hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hey, girl.
And we also have Danny from the podcast, the Tall Girl Tuesday podcast.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Danny. So my podcast is a bunch of randomness. Talk about everything from the moon to the earth and everything in between.
I love it. I'm the same. So obviously you guys know who I am. So let's just dive right in. So I wanted to check in first of all, because obviously we all know what's going on. It's week 11,000 of this pandemic. So let's go ahead and check in and let you know what's going on with you ladies. Have y'all gone back to work? Have y'all been, gone back to normal, any type of normalcy, any anything that you can call normal?
For me, I was first working like on a rotation, so we would be at home some days, then some of us would go into the office, and that lasted like mid-March until May 1st. May 1st, my job for the state of Alabama was like, y'all come back on in. Everybody, Been in work every day since May 1st. The good thing about it is I have my own office, so I don't have to like be in other people's spaces or their spaces, and they don't have to be in mine. But besides that, I just started going back to the gym, and when I tell y'all they are not regulating anything in there, like it's
Wow.
people not wiping down equipment before they use it, not wiping it down after they use it, and I'm just like,
Wow.
yeah, and I'm the monk of the group, so I'm in there like, okay, let me wipe this all the way down before and
Right.
after. Just trying to be cautious, but I'm a homebody, so other than that, it doesn't really affect me too much, except throwing the mask on when I'm going to the grocery store or something. But that's just me.
And what about you, Danny?
Okay, so for me, I've been working from home. I've been a home base rep for next month will be a year,
Oh, wow.
right? Yeah. So
Okay.
working from home and social distancing is my everyday life. I live alone. I'm always alone. Nothing has changed for me except the fact that when I actually want to go out and go sit at a bar or something, I cannot do that. But for the most part everything is the same. I don't travel. I don't have to travel for work. I work right from my office at home. So
Yeah.
it hasn't been too much of a change.
Yeah. The only, like how you said, the only thing is like I do work from a location, so now I'm going to place. So that's something new, and I wear my mask every day, all day, and like Molly was saying, like, yeah, the people are not taking precautions. So in my little space, I'm making sure, like, whatever I'm using, I'm making sure I'm wiping down constantly and washing my hands and sanitizing. But yeah, people aren't taking precautions. But yeah, I just miss the fact that if I wanted to go out, like the option of wanting to go out and being comfortable doing that is not there anymore, and I kind of miss that.
Exactly.
And traveling for sure. Like I do miss
Yeah,
traveling.
yeah, definitely traveling. I feel like I've postponed too many trips or just too many just events and things like that. So the traveling definitely hurts the most.
It hurts the most.
It
No, for
does.
sure. My birthday's in October, so like I'm trying to figure out somewhere maybe that I can drive to that I can still like do a little something like low key, like I'm not around a bunch of people, but still not like no, because I'm in Arizona, so I might like dip off to like Mexico or something like that, like drive really quickly or Cali or something. But I need to travel. I can't sit still too long. I like to go places. So
I feel you. So would you be nervous, like just continue to take your precautions, like mask and sanitizer and stuff like that?
I'll definitely be nervous. I'm still nervous now, but yeah, I would have to take precautions and like plan like excursions that don't like involve a lot of people or like
Mhm.
a lot of contact with a lot of people. So something like that. So
Huh?
that's my thought process. But anywho, I wanted to touch on something that was has been in the media more recently. Are y'all aware of the entanglement situation?
Yes.
How did I know that's what you were going to say?
Girl. I
Definitely.
had to. Okay, so I didn't really watch view August's interview until I saw Jada's interview. So,
Mm. Yeah.
any of y'all dating? First of all, let's start there before I anybody dating or
Mm-mm. I'm
in a
not.
relationship.
I gave up on. Look at me. I gave up on dating probably like last year, the end of last year. I just had a really bad experience. I'm like, you know what? Let me just take a break from dating and focus on me. So that's kind of what I've been doing now. Like I'm open to it now because it's been a while, but with Corona going on, can't really do that. So I'm not dating.
Correct. Yeah, I stopped dating like right before Corona. Like it was like like the beginning of February. So like I'm just chill. Like, I think I gave one person my number, like, that I've seen, like, during this time, but that was about it. But there hasn't been any, like, dating or contact. Okay. So, anyways, open to dating younger, because obviously he was the age of her son or something like that. So, I mean, are y'all open to dating younger like that?
Not, yeah, I'm about to say not that young. Like,
Not that young.
well, okay, so I'm 32. So I feel like 27 is probably like the youngest. 27, 28 would be my youngest. Like, what would y'all do? What's the youngest?
So I'm 31. I would do probably about the same, 27. About 27, depending on your maturity. 32, so it'll probably be 8, but yeah, probably around there. Danny?
So for me, I'm 34, and the youngest I'm going is 5 years, and that's like a stretch. I like older men, so
You prefer older men.
Definitely.
I was gonna ask that next. Like, would you prefer do you date older, and like what would that age difference be, or what would you prefer? So Danny said she likes older anyway, so let's start with you. Like, how old are you going? How old can you go?
How old can I go? So when I was in my 20s, I dated a guy that was in his 60s.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay.
Might sound a little crazy.
I ain't no
but
shame. Okay.
He was nothing like his
Nice.
age.
Okay. So was he like the sexy 60?
Girl, yes. I mean,
Okay.
had his own business, boss, everything. He was just like perfect. If kids were already older,
Okay.
Wasn't looking for any kids. It was amazing.
That's fun. That could be fun. Like, already past all that mess and like all established. I could dig that. Can I ask his ethnicity if you don't mind me
He's
asking?
black, and I have to tell y'all something interesting. The one thing he used to say to me, which kind of creeped me out, was like, the only thing that I ask is that when it's my time to go, you give me a proper burial.
Oh my! Like, how awkward did it used to be? That would make me like so uncomfortable. Like, ooh,
so uncomfortable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
so
is not a.
I'm really like wanting to know more. How did you meet him?
I met him through his niece, and his niece was my friend. So when we met, she introduced us. She was like, "He like him young. I'm just letting you know now." And then from there, I'm like, "Well, hey, I like him."
Oh, she already knew.
So yeah, it was like a match made in heaven.
I was wondering if she was like if she like got upset or
Not
something.
at all. She gave me the green light.
Okay. See, so Molly wanted to know how it started, and I don't know if I'm just morbid. I wanted to know why it ended. Like, what?
So here's the thing. Age has nothing to do with maturity. I will say that. And
Gotcha.
My whole thing was, I mean, he's older than my mother. He has to be, mature. That's not always the case. He was getting on my nerves. He was childish. And I'm just like, you know what? I can't. I had to exit left.
Damn.
Wow. I wouldn't think somebody that age would be childish. But you know what? I've never dated anybody like older than me. Everybody I've dated has probably been within a year or two of my age. So I've never dated anybody older.
Now he was also a womanizer because like women used to slash his tires, key his car.
Oh.
So I'm like, it's something that you're doing that's making these women act like that.
Yes. Yeah. There is something.
Yeah, so
that okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that was where I was going. I was like, did he pass? Like, what happened? Like, what? Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah, no, I've dated older, but not like that much of a age difference. I don't know if I have a preference either way because I've enjoyed both like I've enjoyed a guy I've dated that was younger, and I've enjoyed a guy that I've dated that's older, and that's like right on par with my age group or whatever the case may be. They're all, like you said, their age does not matter. It
Right.
they all with the shits.
Mhm.
So yeah, they all get you in those entanglements.
Right.
But yeah, I was listening to his interview specifically, and he sounded so enamored and so in love with Jada, or maybe, I don't know. Have y'all ever, do you feel like y'all have experienced like love like that, like real love? Like
I do. I feel like I've experienced real love, like with my ex. I felt like that was something that would last a lifetime, as far as I thought we would get married and have children, and you're just like infatuated with that person. You love that person like from top to bottom and everything about them. So I felt August with how he felt, like the love aspect of it. But when I watched it, I felt like I saw a broken man who was looking for somewhat of a mother figure, but that turned into a love interest. And that's how I kind of saw it, because he had such a damaged relationship with his mom before they repaired it. So I kind of felt like everybody in that situation needed healing.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. And that's how unfortunately, and not to say anything about anybody's relationships, but I feel like that's the dynamic of a lot of old, like, people that date older. I don't know if that's real. I'm not a therapist or anything like that, but I feel like that dynamic comes from somewhere. And I feel like that's where my thoughts are from that. But I don't really know. But yeah, it was very interesting. I watched the whole thing. I really enjoyed it. I didn't really know much about him prior to all of this, unfortunately. But
yeah, it was a
yeah,
good interview. I felt like they took 2 minutes of him talking about him and Jada and turned it into a whole big thing, when really he talked so much more just about him and his healing, and like his relationship with his mother, his sister passing away, and I felt like he talked about so much more that should have been spotlighted besides the Jada situation. But you know how the blogs would just blow it up, and you see what it's become now.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like it was much more than that, and I took away a lot more about him from that, because I didn't really know much. Like I said, I didn't really know much about him before that. So, he did touch on something that I did want to talk about. He was talking about like how Black people have our knee on our own necks, like we are pressing ourselves amongst other people. And I wanted to see, do you agree with that? Do you think that's something that we need to be addressing, as well as other things that are going on in the community that are going on right now?
Danny, you want to answer?
In terms of like holding ourselves up or back from greatness,
back. Yeah,
I think there is some truth to that, but I also feel like Black people don't get the same, what's the word I'm looking for, opportunities that those of other races get. So that's a tough one. I think it depends on the situation.
Right. So I'm going to play devil's advocate, because that's how I do. So give me an example of an opportunity that Black people and other races do not get the same opportunity as. I'm just asking.
So I'll take, for instance, how, let's say like last year, the year before, it was this big deal that Kylie Jenner became a millionaire or whatever, right? And it's like, okay, well, number one, she has privilege. Number two, she has the means from her mother to get her to where she was. And you know what I'm saying? She had the funding. Now let's bring that to somebody in New Jersey who's just a regular Joe Schmo, who doesn't have that type of, clout or what the resources needed, they go into a bank, ask for a loan based off of the color of the skin alone. It's like, no, we can't give you that loan.
Yeah,
And it's like
it's like
privilege. It's
it
privilege.
is. It's generational wealth. It's because
Exactly.
they have never been oppressed the way the African Americans have been oppressed, that they have the opportunity. They have hundreds of years lead to build this generational wealth for their families to be able to pass it down. Of course,
Exactly.
not saying all Caucasians or all white people or anything like that or any other race. Not saying all of them, but a lot of them, do have generational wealth, where opposed to Black people, I'm pretty sure it's a lower percentage of people that have generational wealth to pass down. So that's the Kylie Jenner thing. Like, she has that generational wealth to create these businesses or opportunities for herself, opposed to somebody who doesn't have those resources and
Absolutely.
or going to banks to struggle to get loans, and probably, of course, being denied for those loans to build their own companies and their own brands or whatever. And to say one thing about Kylie Jenner, and I don't want to come off as a Kardashian hater, but I will say a lot of them still, their concepts from smaller businesses, whether they be Black or white or whatever, but they steal a lot of their concepts from other people, and then
Absolutely.
they gain, the wealth and the brand behind it.
Absolutely. That is very true. I see it. I
Right.
watch it. You're right. We don't want to seem like the bashers, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I do see like they're like really opportunistic, and they do pick up on smaller Black or white, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
trends, and they do take from that. So no, I agree. I just wanted to know like like an example. And yeah, you're right. So I'm speaking for myself, like I don't really know like too much financial far back, because Black people, honestly, we don't really talk about finances with family. So I can't say
True.
that generational wealth isn't something that we have. I know, like, going like a little further back, because we didn't talk about it, I feel like that hinders our growing financially as well. I hate the fact that there is still like colorism when you can't even go in and get a bank loan because of the color of your skin or whatever the case may be. Like, I can't even wrap my mind around the fact that that is still something that is happening. But yeah, aside from that, just like financial awareness and just financial being able to make the right decisions, coming from a home that is financially strong and can back you, is something that the Black community is lacking. So I do feel like aside from just having those dollars, just having that knowledge is a problem. So yeah, that was a great example.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Black families aren't preparing their kids or teaching their kids how to get the bag, and that's the difference in race too. They're not preparing the kid for, what's the next step after, after school, or learn a trade or something like that. It's like they pretty much leave it up to the teachers and the educators, and depending on how close that student is, or how smart or into school they are, then that kind of determines their future too.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like if our families would start talking to us about finances and about property and about credit and things like that, once we get into those teenage years, it'll help us along the way. Because honestly, I didn't start learning about property until about maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and that's only because of work. Before that, I didn't know how you buy a house or anything like that, because
Right.
honestly, I wasn't thinking about it. I was living in an apartment. I knew I wasn't trying to move into a house anytime soon. So it was the furthest thing from my mind. So once I got into the position that I work with now, and it was just like I learned about property, and it was only because of my job. But I do feel like we should start having those conversations with our children, or even just educating ourselves.
Right. No, especially educating ourselves. I was going to ask you, and you know, you can answer this however you want, Molly. Does anybody in your like immediate family own property or like own a home?
Yeah, now I will say that everybody
Okay.
does own their own home, and we actually own land, like in a small country town in Missouri. So we own property. It was just never a conversation we had.
They don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
Mm-mm.
sense. And that's right. Like my grandparents own their home. So like I know that they've owned it for at least as long as I've been alive. So I I know they own the home, but I guess I don't know like how they got it or whatever like that. And the fact that I know that part is just me looking up stuff and finding my knowledge and all of that stuff. Like I'm pushing my mom to buy a house and stuff like that because she's a vet and all that
Mhm.
stuff. But like that's just because I go and seek the knowledge, you know, because we're not
Yeah.
talking about it. My
Right.
grandparents, like I know where they have their mortgage because I, you know, may assist them with going to take their payment over or whatever the
Mhm.
case may be. But that's not a conversation that we have. You know, I don't know
Mhm.
how long they have on their mortgage. I don't know if they've ever refinanced their mortgage. Like I
Mhm.
don't know, you know, stuff like that, like those type of things, because we don't talk. I don't know their interest rate on their mortgage. You know, we don't talk about those type of things. You know, and that's insane to me. Like I just don't understand why that's so taboo. Like I don't know how much my mom makes. My mom, I don't know if she knows how much I make. I probably have told her, but like it's not a conversation that you don't talk about
Mhm.
salary. You don't talk about. It's just weird to me
Yeah,
why it's so taboo.
I wonder why that is. It's just like I don't know, because it's a lot of households that don't talk about things because what I do for work is basically it's like they're trying to get their parents into like a nursing home or something like that. So when I'm asking questions, they never know anything. And I work in like a Caucasian county or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them really don't know. So I think it's just a family thing. Like you don't talk about finances sometimes, or you don't talk about like certain things. But when it comes to putting your loved one in a nursing home, or if they're about to pass away, or not about to pass away, but if they do pass away, we really don't know anything until we go through paperwork and we find
Oh,
things out. Like 9 times out of 10, you don't know how many life insurance policies somebody has out, or you don't know the property, you don't know this or that. And it's like, I wonder, why is it so difficult for us to have these conversations amongst our loved ones? It's not like we're snooping and trying to get into your business, but we just need to know, this information just in case something happens,
Right.
because it helps us in the long run.
Absolutely.
I agree. I know my crazy my grandfather's half Hispanic island. I don't know. I've heard him say, and I don't know if he means it with his whole heart, but like sometimes people feel like you're out to get them. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. People just
Yeah.
it's like a competition, or like it's like it's not even that though. It's just you just need to have those conversations to just educate people and so that people don't continue to make the same generational mistakes and errors
Right.
that are that are carrying us through what we're going through now. So, anywho, yeah, that was just something I wanted to touch on because I was like, I don't understand why people don't do. Do your family actually listen to your podcast, ladies?
Mine
Do
does.
any
Mine,
of your family?
you said yours does, Danny?
Yeah, my mother, my aunt, and cousins do. Yeah. I told my brother he's not allowed, but how would I really know if he's listening?
For the most part, mine does not. And that's because, like, my parents already know I have a wild, crazy personality, but they'll rather not hear my experiences when I talk about certain things. So, for the most part, I don't believe that they do. Now, if they sneak and do, there's something totally different, but I don't think they do.
Okay, they're not telling you. I think my mom does. I like you said, Danny. I told my brother, like my no, my brother doesn't listen to it. Like you said, I don't know what he does on his own, but yeah. But my mom, my sister, they do listen to it. So I was just trying to see before we like got into too deep of these things,
Oh,
the things that
please.
we were.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm about
I'm
to say
here
I'm all
for
the
it.
way
At the end of
open.
the day, I'd say I'm an adult, so that's up to you if you choose to listen. Don't come at me with nothing crazy.
Right, exactly. That's facts. I mean, I had to grow into that. Like, I was like really like, okay, I don't know if I what I want to talk about because family and da da da. But my grandparents, I told them they can't listen. I don't know if they know how to even access the podcast app on their little iPhones. That's the ones that were trying to FaceTime me right before I started this. I'm like, all right, it's 10 o'clock over there. Like, they got to calm down. Like, but so I just was talking about before he never box, but now he eat box. You turned him on to that? Like, I want to know, like, what are these tricks that these women have? Like, they just be turning these men out. Like, this is just like the holy grail. Like, I need to know. I'm asking these questions. I need to figure it out. Because when I start dating, that's like it's a wrap. Like, I'm shutting it down.
I don't. You know what? I don't know what it is. I wonder what's Jada's sign. I didn't even look it up to see what her sign was.
Ooh, that's a
But
good question.
I think as far as August eating a box, now he said that he doesn't eat every box, but he does, I guess, like special people or something like that. But she probably did. They always say older women turn younger guys out. So she, probably had some tricks for him that
She's a
grew his.
Virgo, by the way.
I was
Oh,
just
she's a
about to
Virgo.
say she's a
Okay.
Virgo.
So yeah, she
Yeah,
probably
Virgo.
had some slyness up her sleeve for him. And he just fell for it. He
What's
seems
y'all
like a
sign?
person that falls in love easily too, though, to me. I'm a Pisces. A
Okay.
sensitive, emotional Pisces.
I'm a Capricorn.
Okay, I don't know much about Capricorns, but I'm a Libra. I'm a Libra. I know Pisces are very sensitive and stuff.
Yeah. A
Capricorns are
big
super
baby.
laid back and just about their business.
That's a good thing. That's
Yeah.
a good thing to be about. Like, I don't know about like how emotions play into that, but like I'm sure it probably, if that's what it's about, then it probably plays a back burner to it. But yeah, so she's a Virgo. That's crazy. Yeah, he said he doesn't eat everybody's, which I get I get that. Are y'all opposed to fellatio, or are y'all with the fellatio?
I feel like it's mandatory. I'm
Right at this
sorry.
point,
It's
Absolutely.
mandatory. Like,
do you have an option?
I don't know. I feel like we're just okay. Like, I feel like we're grown, so I feel like, especially for me, like I know what I like, and it's like a main thing for me because sometimes I don't even need the penetration, so it's just like
Word.
that's the main thing for me. So if you're not trying to do that, it's like, so why are you here? What did you come for? Type of thing.
Exactly. That's like a requirement that you have to be about that. Do y'all like giving head?
I do.
I enjoy it too. Okay.
I do.
Some people think that's weird. Yeah. Problem. Okay. I was like, that's
Hold on,
not
can I
weird.
say something about that? Isn't it crazy, like when you're younger, how that was just like so frowned upon, but as you get older, it's kind of like, okay, it's still kind of one of those, not necessarily mandatory, but it's just one of the things about sex. But I don't know. I think when we were younger, it was just such a frowned upon thing. Like if you did that, you were nasty or you were a hoe or something like that. But now it's kind of like it's embraced more, which it
No,
should have always been.
for real. No, exactly. I literally remember conversations with like my friends at that younger age about it. And it was just like a taboo, like, no, do not do it type thing. And
Mhm.
I mean, at that time I wasn't doing anything, but still I was just like, oh, okay. Like that's why it took me a while to like get so accustomed to it. And I'm like, what is so bad to this? Like, why are we why are we opposed? Why are we against this?
Yeah, I feel like it's a part of sex. It's a part of foreplay. So, but I mean, some people don't like to do it, and I mean, I'm not saying that you have to or anything if you don't like doing it, but I just think we should take
Right.
the taboo off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. The taboo. And that was another thing August had touched on. He was talking about how if your pants don't sag another a certain way, or how you act a certain way, you are considered like a gay man. And I want to know, are y'all opposed to dating a man that's more metro or like feminized, I guess, in his behaviors? I don't I don't know the right word. But
I get what you're saying. So I laugh because my ex, he wasn't necessarily like, I wouldn't say he was metro, but he was more into like his hygiene than any other guy that I dealt with. And I'm not saying like those guys were dirty, but he would take a shower like 50 times a day, like type of thing. And he constantly washed his hands, and he constantly like just did things that other guys didn't do. Like he groomed himself like so often. He just took pride in the way that he looked and the way that he came off. And it was like, it made me respect it more, opposed to like the other guys that, just was like, I'm gonna take a shower, throw some cologne on, and I'm good. But then my head, like, he just really like focused on it. And my friends used to be like, girl, why you be in the bathroom so long? I'm like, it's just what you do. Like, he gotta make sure he's straight. So I'm not opposed to dating a guy that's into himself and kind of, I guess you would call metro, but I can't date somebody. Do y'all know who Chris Lee? Oh, what is that? Chris Lee Knows Best. It's a TV show with a white guy.
Yes.
Yes.
Very,
Cannot
very
date somebody
natural.
like him.
Very
Cannot
natural.
date someone like him.
Okay, so you're right, Molly. I like the fact that you are willing to take care of yourself and take, the time or whatever. But yes, Mr. Chrisley, he does teeter a line, and I don't. He does teeter a line. Danny, what's your thoughts?
When I date someone who's metro,
Yeah.
so for me, I'm like the fashion girl. I am with it. Like I'm
Okay.
with it. I'm with it.
That makes sense.
I would not be opposed to it at all.
That makes sense if you're like into like fashion and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like you're more aligned with men like that. No, Mr. Chrisley, he seems fun, but I don't know.
It is just like, and I just think he's flamboyant, and I'm not saying that in like a bad way or anything like that. He just has a bubbly personality, and it's just like, to me, it's too bubbly for me because my personality isn't even that bubbly. So I don't want it to be like, okay, why do you have all this energy and I don't?
Right.
like calm down. But I love the show though. Like he is amazing. But he's too like energetic for me. So I couldn't have somebody that's that energetic, that bubbly. Like, calm down. Like, let's chill out a little bit. But yeah. So, and also with the metro, I love the fact that men groom themselves as far as like pedicures, manicures, like just taking care of themselves. So it's like, yes,
exactly. I'm like, that's just human. Like, I don't want you to equate that to be feminine. Like, take care of the dirt that's underneath your nails. Like,
right.
Cut your toenails. Like, shave the dirt or the hard skin from underneath your feet. That is just normal. Like, please, like, don't equate that. So while we're on it, like, what's your type, ladies? Like, what would you say is your if you have a type now? Like,
I was gonna say, I don't think I necessarily have a type. I just like men. So I don't have like a specific like type. A lot of the guys I've dealt with are very different, from look, your criminals to your college graduates. So I don't necessarily have a type. I do like someone that has a sense of humor. So that's a big thing for me because I love to laugh and like to joke and have fun and play tricks. So the main thing I like is someone who's just able to be themselves and have fun.
No, I agree, but you touched on something that is a part of my type. Like, I like somebody that can be like that corporate, but like you can like be that thug. Like, you have that like you can do both. Like, I want you to be able to do both, just like me. Like, I can be in corporate and I can go and, like, hang out wherever, like I like that. But
it's
other than
that
that,
good
like,
balance.
yeah, you gotta be able to balance. I'm a Libra. I need balance. Like, you need to be able to do both. But, like, also like to travel. Like, don't be like a local body. Like, I don't like those. Don't want to get out of your city type people. Like, travel, see
I feel like I
places.
want a good vacation. I don't feel like I've had like a good vacation. I had like little like trips with guys, but I want like one of those international ones that you see like on the pictures that just look so romantic.
I've
I
never
want
had one of them. So I've never had like a local or like no. Nope.
really.
So, I mean,
I
when I
think
dated, like, we traveled, but like it was just like to see family and stuff like that. So I wouldn't call those
yeah.
like vacations or whatever. So yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Well, so for me, I'm tall, so my type is definitely a tall guy.
See,
I'm
she got a
five
type.
feet
I know
nine.
Daddy had a type.
I am 5'9". I usually prefer them to be extremely chocolate.
Ooh.
Okay.
Um, I'm leaning a little bit. Skin color. I don't know. I can get past it if he ain't as dark as I like him, but it has to be tall, has to be. And definitely somebody who's not introverted like me, like doesn't mind being in the house, but is spontaneous and likes to do things like on the fly, because I'm so like introverted and I'm just always to myself, by myself. And can you imagine two of me? It's like
Oh
I'm
yeah, no.
barefoot and pregnant. You know what I mean? Like,
Right, y'all would just be in the house, sleeping, having
Netflix
fun.
right.
every day. So let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
So would you or have you ever dated a guy that was shorter than you?
Ooh,
I
I was gonna ask
have.
that. Okay.
How was that experience?
It wasn't too bad because he wasn't like that much shorter. However, I
Mhm.
found myself like trying to match outfits around flat shoes, and I'm like, this is not for me.
That's what I was talking about at work this week. There's a guy that has, so they were saying like all the short girls go for all the taller guys.
True.
So that's like that takes them off the market. So all the shorter guys be with the taller
True.
girls.
I said on one of my episodes, if there's a 6'5" guy in a room and a 5'6" guy in a room, and I walk in, I guarantee you the 5'6" guy would approach me before the 6'5" guy. I've lived it. It's true.
And I'm 5 foot and I'm being approached by the six. Yeah. So yeah, and that's what I prefer. I don't know why. I just like I like taller guys. I'm okay with like 5'10" and above. Like that's my 5'10" is my mark for reasons that I have, but 5'10" there's some positions that I like, and I just 5'10" is good. Like so.
Look, makes sense now. Makes sense.
Yeah, I saw where you were going with that.
It's logistics, the logistics of it. So I was just like, this is just 5'10" is right where it's at, and it's comfortable.
And it's also like when you look at it now and you look at the guys, it's like, why is everybody so short? Like you don't really get too many tall ones anymore. And I don't know what's going on like with the world and everything, but a
They're
lot
in
of guys
entanglements.
that is true. Because you know what? The ones that are 5'10" and over know that they're a hot commodity, so they know how to play the game.
Yep.
And they, have their list of people that they, already entangled with.
Yep.
Yeah.
They all entangled up. It's a wait list to be entangled in with them. So
height is attractive though. Like when you get a tall guy, it's kind of like, oh,
it is. It's those height is a thing that is very attractive. Unfortunately, like with like appearance wise, like people try to like talk about like, oh, appearance shouldn't be a thing, but like it should be a thing, and height is one of those things. Like, and then taking care of yourself, which you can obviously visually see. So like those two things, like those are Yeah. But I saw a tall, light skinned dude in the DMV. I really wanted. Oh no, it wasn't the DMV. It was at the courthouse. So, yeah, I can do a light skin or a dark skin. For me, I don't think complexion is a problem for me anymore. Like I don't have a complexion problem anymore, but height is a definite thing.
I've dated, that's the crazy thing. I've dated literally like light skin, dark skin, brown skin. I don't know what it is. But you know what? Chocolate, especially if it's a smooth chocolate, it is
Girl.
so attractive. It is just so attractive. It is just that. What's the guy's name that plays like Ralph Angel? I can't think of his real name.
Oh,
But
yeah, what you're talking about.
yeah, it's just like that chocolate. It's just smooth. Or like a Lance Rose. And it's just like, oh
Oh yeah, like Lance. Ooh,
Chocolate with
okay.
good skin.
yes. It is sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that complexion is just like you said, it's just like chocolate. You want to eat it up. So that has nothing to do with me. It has all to do with that complexion. It has nothing to do with me. That
Mm-hmm.
so dating is on halt right now, obviously, ladies. But are y'all game for online dating? Or is anybody online dating right now, or like on a like an app?
No, that's a no for me. No.
Things like no. The hell
So
no.
I'm not, and I've never been, but I'm kind of getting to the point like I'm open to it. But here's my thing: I watch a lot of ID channels, so I feel like everybody on there is going to kill me. So I'm
Better
just
safe
like,
than sorry.
exactly. I feel like they're going to kill me. And they have this show called Web of Lies on the ID channel, and it's basically like people meeting people on the internet, and yeah, they're killing them or raping them or something like that. And it scares me. So I'm just like, ugh, I don't know. But I live in a small town in Alabama, and it's just kind of like, okay, like I'm from St. Louis, so I'm from a bigger city, and now living in this smaller town, the selection is like horrible. But I'm thinking like, okay, maybe I'll start a dating app because I heard something about like BLK or Black or something like that, and they're like, oh, it's pretty good. But in my mind, everybody on a dating app wants to just either kill you or have sex. So I don't know. That's just
Damn,
my
those are the only
logic.
two. I've been on online dating apps. I'm gonna let you know those are. I understand where you're coming from, but those are not the only two options that are on there.
Okay.
So I haven't heard of BLK, but yeah, Danny's like completely opposed to it. And Molly, I do watch the ID and those crime shows, so I was very opposed to it. So it took me a very long time to actually go on a date, and I actually am very selective when I go on dates. So when you go on there, obviously you can chat with them for a little bit, and obviously people can put on a face for a very long time, but you go out in public for the first time. So I mean, I don't know how how it is in your towns, but you can go out in public. I don't. When I lived in a smaller town, I didn't do it either because I just didn't feel like it was just a big enough pool when it was like a small town feel. But in a bigger city, I feel like it may be a little bit better. But yeah, a lot of depending on which one you're on, it is a lot about sex. But it's an option. Danny, why are you so opposed to it?
I'm not really opposed to it, but I am that person who thinks and overthinks. So I guarantee you, if I'm online dating and I'm meeting someone like for the first time, someone is going to know my whereabouts, number one. Someone's going to be getting my location updates. And someone will be waiting close by just in case. Like, I'm playing no games.
For sure, in the
No
wings.
games. But
I'm
I've
concealed,
definitely been
so
seeing that BLK come up on my Instagram, and I'm like, wait a minute, are they trying to tell me something here? Because it's like constant. It's always the same guy. I'm like, okay, I hear
it's
you.
subliminals. It's subliminals. Yeah, I wrote it.
Right.
I wrote it down. I did see it on Instagram, and I just wrote it down so I can remember, just in case I want to jump back online. Because right now I have like backed off from it, but I definitely wrote that down. So I was like, yeah, okay, I do remember that. I need to check that out. But yeah, it's you do overthink a lot. So I'm concealed. So I'm always like on the ready when I'm ready to go.
Me too. I'm just in a state where I can't carry outside my house, but I am strapped.
That's a thing over there in that new area, New Jersey, New York,
Yeah.
which is so annoying. Are you opposed to Molly? Are you concealed? I didn't hear you over there.
Oh, I'm
Do you
sorry.
care?
No, I don't. I'm more, look at me, I'm more of a violent person per hands, but I do need to.
You will get these hands before anything.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with
And
that.
I'm kind of like what my dad, because my dad is big on guns. Like, he's a collector. And his whole thing is, I'm not ready quite yet because I have one of those personalities. When I snap, it's really fast and really quick. And he thinks that I might end up in jail. So,
Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
daddy
and
knows best.
I kind of have that feeling too. So that's why it's like I know I need to, but I haven't just yet. And then I also like I don't bring people to my house. I don't let people know where I live. So if somebody were to come here, they would literally have to be. And I live in the woods, so they would have to be on a hunch.
Yeah, that makes sense. So
Yep.
you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, no, it's fun. Like I like shooting, like you said, like your dad collect. I want to collect and do all that, but like it's something I feel like all women should at least be able to know how to do,
Mm-hmm.
if anything,
Right.
and kids. Like I know some people are opposed to that, but like I do feel like now the knowledge at least of knowing what it is and what
Yeah,
not to do and how to use it should be taught to younger children because knowledge is power. I feel like if
Absolutely.
anything.
yeah,
So
definitely in a household where there are guns, like there needs to be some type of gun safety for children.
correct. Like I just feel like some of the information that's being taught right now, like I feel like we need to revamp the educational system and we need to talk about some things that's a little bit more relevant to life. And if it's not being done in the educational system, I think it needs to be done at least at home. So
Mm-hmm.
um that's just that. Do any of you have kids? No?
No kids for
No,
me.
No kids.
no.
Okay, ditto. Okay, so that's why I was just making sure before I was like judging anybody about how they do things at their house. But no, I do feel like that. I do feel like if you have a gun or something in the home, you need to educate the children because
Mm-hmm.
it's there. It's But anywho, moving on right along. Have y'all been have any of you guys heard of the show I May Destroy You on HBO?
I am all caught up, girl. That is all
Oh,
caught up.
I'm not all caught up, so we. I mean, we can talk about. I'm not one of those people that hate spoilers, but I'm not all caught up. But I just saw that like how Netflix tried to like lowball her and like take her rights from the show, like, and that's where I was going with that. But yeah, Molly, are you watching that?
No, I was gonna say, what is it?
Oh, Danny, you want to tell her?
So it's you know who Michaela Coel is from Chewing Gum?
Uh-huh.
She has a new show. I believe it's what is it, Showtime or HBO?
It's on HBO. Yeah, that's why. Because
Yeah.
it's like right after.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
know what you're talking about because I used to see the previews when I watched Insecure.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. So it's a really good show.
It is really good, but I didn't know that Netflix was. I'm just hearing that just now. What happened?
Yeah. So basically, when she was shopping her show around and trying to see where she was trying to go with it or whatever like that, she went to Netflix and Netflix gave her a number, and that number just included just basically selling her show and the rights of her show, which, includes a lot of different things. And it was just like a mill. It was just like a lowball number or whatever the case may be. So she, as a Black woman, was aware of her wealth and her worth, and was like, no, I'm not gonna settle for that. Even though Netflix is, hot, everybody likes Netflix.
Right.
You hear Netflix. Most people, if you weren't aware, you might have jumped on something like that. So she did jump on that deal and kind of went I think she went with BBC or somewhere else where she was able to keep the rights and she's able to do a lot more. And then she got on with HBO and all that stuff. So
That's right. As they say, know your worth and then add tax.
exactly, that's the fact. I love that saying. That's my saying. I love that.
Absolutely. Good for
Yeah.
her.
So she knew her worth and she definitely had to add. And I didn't know that. I was like, oh, that's a bit. You need to check that out, Molly, because it's a good little it's a good show.
I don't know. I'll have to probably watch it tomorrow. I've been looking for a marathon too, so I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's about 5 episodes in, so you can binge a little bit, you know.
Yeah, and it's
Hmm.
like how 30 minutes. How long is it? Like 30 minutes or
It's
so?
about
Like
45, I think.
45 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
because no commercials. Mhm.
Correct. So I mean I have it on like demand usually, but yeah, it's like 30, 45 minutes, like or whatever. But it's really good. It's about like, well, you'll have to check it out. But
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't even know how to explain the premise of the show. I'm gonna be honest. It's
I
wild.
yeah.
remember seeing it all the time. Like I said, when I would watch Insecure, they would always play it beforehand. But I don't know, like once Insecure went off, and I just never thought to like, oh well, let me check out this other show. So I'll have to watch it. I'll probably start it tomorrow.
Nice.
It's like about consent. That's from what they say it is, but like it's about consent. And I mean she's based in like England or like somewhere over, it's overseas. So I
Okay.
was like watching shows like that too. And yeah, it was a BBC drama first and then HBO picked it up. So
Yeah, okay.
and of course, we just need more Black women to support Black women. So just
Right.
watch
Yeah.
it, or at least play it in the background. Look, play it in the
That's what I
background
say.
when you're doing
Turn it on and
something.
walk away if you have to.
I'm
Put
gonna
it
check
on for the
it out.
dogs or the kids. Like, well, not for the kids. No, it's not for the kids. But put it on for like the dogs or something. Like, it's good. Yeah, check it out for sure. If you want to binge something, you can definitely watch that. So I'm not gonna spoil it for you, so we won't talk about it too much. But we'll definitely I'll check in with you and let me know what your thoughts are on it,
Okay.
please. Um, are you ladies open to like dating exes or like past fling? I'm gonna tell you
So,
why I asked that. I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna tell you why I asked that because I've been I haven't, like I said, I haven't been dating. So the only people that I've been thinking about is people that I've had, past interactions with. So I'm like jumping their DMs like, "Hey, big head."
and you know what? That's why I laugh because it's like this quarantine because we in the house. You're not really meeting new people. You're not going out to bars and clubs and stuff. So it's kind of like them old teens get the flowing in your head. Like, wonder what he's doing. And
Right.
it's funny that you say this or ask this question is because I've been kind of debating this in my head. Like my ex has been reaching out lately, like we are not social media friends, but he's been like viewing my IG stories or reacting to things, and it's kind of like, what you want?
Mhm.
Why are you over here? So it has caused me to kind of like start thinking like, what if we could, hash things out or just have a talk and see where things can go? I don't know because with that relationship, it was just like a lot of, it was more good than bad. I would say that because I hate when people say, yeah, we had bad, but no, it was more good than bad. But he
Okay.
was a liar, and I can't deal with liars.
Ooh,
But
yeah.
I just feel like, especially doing this retrograde, like every guy that I've talked to within the last 2 years has reached out within the last 3 weeks. And that is so weird to me. Like, why are y'all reaching out? Why are y'all here in the retrograde trying to destroy my life? So
Destroy.
I'm kind of iffy. So I'm in between on the double back and on the edge.
Danny.
Okay, so for me, the way I see it, it goes like this. The way my personality is, I'm not really one who's open to meeting new people often. So the
Mm-hmm.
benefit of an ex would be like, listen, at the base of who you are doesn't change too much, So this person knows enough about you to, that you don't have
Mm-hmm.
to like go through that part of it that you would have to with meeting someone new. However, it also depends how the relationship ended.
True.
Correct.
So in a perfect world, I would love to like end up being with or settling down with someone I've already, it had established some type of, relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably not the reality of what's going to happen for me.
This is the reality. No, I agree with you. Like, I like the idea of somebody that already knows me, that in whatever capacity. Like, I like that idea. But if it's ended in like a terrible way, and liars, like you said, Molly, that's a trait. Like, I don't feel like you can kind of like fix. So that's a whole
Yeah.
nother thing. Like, I feel like that's still like in people for a lot of the time, but depending on how it ended, those are the ones. Like, if it didn't end too bad, like if it was just like we just were amicable, those are the ones that have me like, all right, what's up, big head? What you got going on over there?
Right.
This is boring over here. It's not lonely. I'm not gonna claim that, but it's boring over here. Like, I want to travel with somebody. I want to like bounce ideas off of somebody. I want to talk to somebody about some things. So that's
Yeah, and then with meeting new people and dating, now you have to get to know them. They have to get to know you. You have to see if you all are compatible with, same interests or different interests, what you can gain from this person, what that person can gain from you as far as like knowledge or conversations. And it's just like, you just kind of want something that's comfortable. Somebody that knows you know
Exactly.
what you already like, don't like,
correct.
and just keep it moving.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Especially now, you got to check if they got COVID. You got to check if they on the same page as you. No, for real.
Do you have COVID? Have you had COVID? Have you quarantined for 14 days? Where have you been? Like, come on.
along with all the STDs, along with all your goals and aspirations, are we on the same? Like, it's a
Yeah.
lot. So like those exes, those past like little. Like, okay, y'all are looking a little bit better now, because right now it's looking
You
weak
don't look
out
too
here.
bad during this pandemic.
Right.
So, you don't look too bad.
Seriously. Like, are you all right? Have you been quarantining? Like, let me know. Seriously, honestly, have y'all gone back to any kind of normal like self care? Like, I haven't got my nails done yet. I want to get my eyebrows threaded. I want a facial, and I want a massage. Like, my body has just been like, it's just a lot. Like, have y'all done any of those things?
I've been wanting a massage for the last couple of weeks. And yeah, I still haven't did that. Now I have been to the eyebrow threading place, which I was very hesitant about that, but I'm like a real caterpillar with the eyebrow. So it had got just like, I didn't like looking at myself. So I was just like, I'm gonna take this chance. My girl, she had on a mask. She didn't talk. I had on a mask. I didn't talk. So it was just like, she's real quick with the threading. I have been to the nail salon and I got a pedicure, and it was okay. Like, the worker had on a mask. I had on a mask. Really wasn't much talking going on in there. So everybody was just getting what they needed and left. I haven't did anything else, and I did that probably about 4 weeks ago, and I was debating today if I want to go back or if I kind of just want to wait it out.
Have you gone anywhere like that, Danny?
No, and it's funny that you asked, because I was going to put a poll on the gram, like, ladies, have you guys been getting your toes done? But I've been noticing all the men on my timeline have been at the pedicure salon.
Are you serious?
Yes. But
They said
here in Jersey, they have like plastic guards up now. Like, they're serious about it. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can go ahead and jump on out there.
Right, especially if they're taking those precautions, because I I just want like somebody to scrub these
Yeah.
feet. I just want somebody to rub my back, rub my booty, rub
Yeah.
my like I just want all of those things right now. Like I've been like my skin, like I've been doing all of that, but like I just want a massage and I want somebody to rub these feet. And I miss my claws, like my nails look like trash right now. Like it's
I'm telling Lou, let me tell y'all this: when y'all go, you gonna just sit in that chair and you gonna be like, give me the deluxe. I need the
Right.
deluxe. I need all of it, and it's gonna
Everything.
feel like heaven. Oh, it's gonna feel like heaven because
I'm
then
serious though.
February, March when the store shutting down stuff. So yeah, it felt like heaven.
Exactly. That's exactly how long it's been before since I've been in there, and I want the luxury deluxe, the whole package. Give it to me because I'm just yeah, I'm tired of it. I tried to paint my nails the other day, and it just wasn't even. It wasn't even about nothing. It wasn't even worth my time.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't have a steady hand, so I could never.
I'm thinking. So I'm gonna do baby steps. So I'm gonna go out and get my eyebrows started tomorrow. That's for sure. I'm gonna do baby steps, and then we'll go from there and see how I feel next week.
Week by week, step by step. I got you.
Yeah, no, I just, like I said, my birthday's in October. I want something to be some type of normal
So,
soon.
how long do you all foresee this like going on? Is this just the new normal for the next couple of years or the end of this year?
I
Like,
hope
what's the
not. Like
prediction?
I hope not. I don't wish that it like I don't want to speak that on on us. So I just hope that it goes back to normal soon, like some type of normal. I don't know what that is, if it's wearing masks all the time, you know what I'm saying? Like if that's going to be the
Mm,
normal or if this is going to go away. Like I just
yeah.
wanted to do something. I want some type of I just don't yeah, I don't see an end though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna see like I don't because like every time I turn around something new, it's like, oh, it can do something. It can do backflips now. It can do like what the fuck? Like it's just doing something else every time I turn around.
Yeah,
It
because
is.
I was confused. I was like, can you get it more than once now? Like, I thought it was just kind of like a one-time thing in the beginning, but now they're like, it's kind of like the flu. So now you can probably get it like multiple times. So I'm just thinking in my head, like, so does this mean that this is something that is just going to continuously be like, is not going to go away or something? I'm just so confused by it. Maybe because I'm not a science person. So let me first say that I'm not into science. So I'm completely like lost when it comes to it. And then I just feel like some of these states are trying to, roll back, how Atlanta is trying to roll back to their phase one. And I'm thinking like, well, some more states need to roll back to the first phase too, because it's just everywhere. Like it's everywhere. It's spreading, especially Florida. They say Florida is like the mecca for it now. So
Oh
it's
yeah, and that's where yeah, exactly. Like I wish everybody would like get on board with like rolling back and like
mm-hmm.
taking a step back, not just like one place over here, so it can like calm down over here and it, like spreads
Yeah.
and like gets bigger over here. Because that's the problem. You're right. Like some places are not on board. I don't think Arizona is on board with like rolling stuff back. Like the gyms are complaining about having to be shut down. Like I need you guys to like understand
Mhm.
there are things
It was
bigger
so
than
funny. It's so funny with the people protesting for the gym. It's just like y'all are protesting to get back into these gyms, but you aren't wearing masks or you aren't wiping down equipment before or after. It's just like, do you think
they
that the
weren't
virus
doing that
isn't going?
before.
True, that is
Right.
very true.
They were doing that before. I would be in the gym and I would watch people. That's why I hated going into the gym. Like I did cycling for the most part to lose like the last little bit of weight that I lost. So like we wiped down the machines after we were done or whatever the case may be, like our bike that we were on. But like in the gym when you're using multiple machines and like lifting multiple weights and all that stuff, I don't see those people wiping down nothing.
No, they don't. They don't. And I think they look at me weird because I'm the person that's steady like wiping everything down. I'm just like, look, I can't afford to get sick. I live alone. I'll be over here probably on my deathbed and nobody will know. So, no.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, what if something happened to me by myself? I live alone. Like, no, I don't have to, I don't need those type of problems. I don't need that. So yeah, no, agree. I'm in there too, wiping down. If I see somebody get off the machine and didn't wipe it off, I'm wiping it down and trying to like get it together. But no, I hope it's not the norm because I need to travel. Like that's what I'm missing the most probably is like traveling. And right now for me to like go, I already thought planes were dirty. So for me to like go into an airport right now or like get on a plane right now, my mind would be racing way too much. So
yeah. And I seen something not too long ago about 500 Delta employees had tested positive for COVID. It was just like, you can't travel, you can't do anything. Just put the mask on and just roll everything back. Like I really felt like nothing really should have opened. They should have did what China did and did the 3 months of just everything kind of like being shut down and went from there. But we're so money driven that it was like, oh no, we have to open back up these states. We have to open these businesses. And now I think, are we the highest now, like our country of all the countries that have had it? I don't know, but
I think so. Yeah. If we haven't been like that for a couple of weeks, yeah, I feel like we are now. It's a lot. And it's, I feel for the kids. Like I don't have any kids, but I feel for the kids because they're stuck at home. They can't have like summer, whatever, that would have been for them traveling or seeing their friends outside of school or whatever it is. So, it's a lot. And so, no, I don't foresee it lasting long because I don't want to foresee it lasting long, but, yeah, I'm over it. I'm just over it. I told you I want to travel. So I'm planning a road trip. I'm going to get in the car and go somewhere if I can't get in the plane, but,
nice.
Yeah, do y'all have any plans or do y'all want to like do anything like that or are y'all willing to get in the plane? Because I see people, honestly, I've seen people traveling. I don't know how they get in there. I just see when they get to the different locations. So they can either be driving, it's possible, or they can be on these planes. So I see people traveling. So are y'all willing to start traveling at some point in the near future?
I think so.
For me,
go ahead, Danny.
Go ahead. Okay. I was going to say, for me, I don't fly anyway. I'm terrified of airplanes. So.
Oh, no.
Anyway, unless it's a road trip or a boat or something. But flying is not my thing.
Are you serious? So you would get in a boat before you would get in a plane. See, that mind boggles me.
So serious.
That's trippy to me because I feel like boats are more risky than planes, number one. And then the great depths of the water scare me more than like falling out of the sky, maybe. Because I've jumped out of a plane, so I'm a little bit okay with that. But like the things in the water like scare me a little bit more than the things in the sky. So that's crazy to me. Like
so what I'm learning about this whole fear or whatever it's to be called is that my fear is my feet actually leaving the ground.
Okay. So you don't get on roller coasters?
No.
Okay.
No. I can't even sit like on the bleachers high up. I have
wow.
My equilibrium be way off.
See, and let me tell you this: as a short girl, my feet are always off the ground for the most part, sitting in certain chairs. Like I'm always swinging my feet. So like that's not that's a quote unquote fear of heights, but like that's usually when I'm like staring off of the edge of something really high or something like that. But that's crazy. So it's just your feet leaving firm ground.
Yeah.
But the boat, you're in water. I mean, I guess the boat is firm, but like still.
Right, but it's like I can feel, you know what I'm saying? I can still feel something underneath me. Like when you're in a plane, it's like there's nothing. There's nothing under you.
That's crazy to me. What were you gonna say, Molly? Are you ready to travel? Are you game? Are you going
Um,
anywhere?
so I'm definitely ready to travel, but I'm a little hesitant right now. Of course, just due to everything. I just don't like to be sick. I'm one of those type of people. So this is kind of like, oh, do I want to take this chance or don't I? But I actually have a voucher that I have to use before the end of the year, or I just basically lose like $200. So I feel like before the end of the year, I'm gonna use this voucher. Um,
Is it a flight voucher or?
yeah, it's a flight voucher.
Oh
So
yeah. So
um,
mm.
I'm gonna book somewhere. Maybe a small trip. I wanted to go to New York, but baby, they said you got to quarantine 14 days when you get there. So I'm
Yes,
just like,
ma'am.
I'm like, well, that's not going to work. That's too many days. I'm already going to be gone.
Oh,
So,
I didn't know that. So you have to get there, quarantine for 14 days, and then you can go out and about.
mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think it's the people who leave and come back to the state.
Oh, okay.
Like, let's
So
say I come to you and I come back home, I have to quarantine for 14 days.
okay, gotcha. I just thought it meant anybody traveling to New York needs
No,
to
yeah,
quarantine.
it's once you come, from wherever you've been.
Okay. Yeah, I
That's
think I'm still gonna kind of wait it out towards the end of the year, but honestly, we're not getting any better. So with the numbers,
right. That's insane. So I don't know. People are always like sending me these little random videos or whatever the case may be. I don't know what for. So once somebody sent me this video, basically like saying like this is their agenda, and I'm just gonna say there for whatever reason, but their agenda to basically be able to track us more. So like basically, if you want to travel anywhere via the subway or like a bus terminal, they're gonna have to like check your temperature and like do all of these more like measuring things to like
yeah.
track us to like be able to travel and like move about quote unquote freely. But yeah.
There's
So
so many conspiracy theories going on right now between 5G and the tracking us, and it's just like I don't know, I don't know.
it's a lot. It makes my brain hurt. But yeah, like you said, there's so many conspiracy theories out like about all of this. But
Mhm.
what are your thoughts? Do you think like if if that's what we have to go get to be able to move about, like to move normally, quote, like a normal state at some point, would you do it? Or are you open to it? Or you
Oh, like with them checking me everywhere I go.
yeah, like temperature checks and stuff like that to get to work and stuff like that,
Um,
or to
You know what? To me, honestly, it doesn't sound too bad. I'm not necessarily for it, but it doesn't sound too bad if you're just checking my temperature and then I could go. But it's just like that's going to slow down a lot of things and a lot of people
correct.
trying to check
Correct.
so many people's temperatures at once, especially like during peak hours. And I think also kind of like symptomatic, your temperature doesn't change either. So if your temperature is regular and you're asymptomatic, you're still spreading the virus.
Correct. So that's not even really like a
Yeah.
guaranteed check. Yeah, they were saying like that, like the whatever little conspiracy theory video that I was watching, they were saying like that would be something they were doing like more for to watch us for travel. So like if you wanted to like leave and go anywhere, they would be like more monitoring and stuff like that for and that part kind of bothers me. Like, I don't want you watching me, like,
Mm-hmm.
where where I'm moving about. Like, if I'm leaving to go to Jamaica, like, you don't need to. I mean, they already watched that from our passports, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just weird. I was just wondering, like, it came out of nowhere. Like, luckily I was able to travel in February. It was like the end of February, right before everything was like really coming out about all of this. Were y'all able to travel this year at all before all of this? Like, I know, Danny, you're not flying
How can
nowhere,
I
so you
say
just don't even.
doesn't apply to
You
me?
just, yeah. I'm just gonna stay. Molly, did you get to travel before all this?
I went to Atlanta in January, and then my birthday
Okay.
was in March. I was supposed to be at Puerto Rico, in Puerto Rico at oh, what was the fest called? Afro Fest or something like that they were having. But Puerto Rico was having so many earthquakes, if you remember, like in the beginning of the
Yes.
year. And
Yes.
then this hit, so I didn't get to do anything for my birthday. I was a little devastated, but yeah, I
So
got one
you only got
trip.
to go one trip in January. So I mean, in
Mhm.
February, I did start seeing like more masks in the airport. I was in New Orleans, so I flew from New
Mhm.
Orleans to Phoenix. So I did start seeing more masks in the airport and stuff like that. But I didn't really know much about it until like really March, or whatever the case may be. So I'm just lucky. I was able to go at least one trip because it's damn near August and I only went to like one trip. So Danny, you're not driving anywhere? Like, if that's the only thing I'm game to do, I would probably be driving a little bit more and driving some places. So you're not taking
I
any road trips?
I went to Philly like 2 weekends ago, and that's like a 2-hour drive. That was enough for me. I was very satisfied.
She's like, baby steps. No, I've never been to Philly, so that would be enough for me as well. So
Mhm.
um I have the travel bug, so I'm just ready. I'm ready to go somewhere. So starting next month, I probably will be traveling a little bit more and doing things. I want to do a YouTube. So Danny, tell me how is it managing a YouTube and a podcast and like doing all of
Uh,
that?
so it depends. Like for your YouTube, do you want the actual video or you just want the audio?
I want to do probably both sporadically, not all the time. Like a consistent nothing, but like sporadically, maybe you'll get some video, like when they're
Hmm.
like special guests in the building, not just me, but like, yeah, just managing all of that. Cause just managing social media and a
It's a
podcast
lot.
and like regular life is a lot. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
So,
So in terms of YouTube, I all of my episodes that I actually have a guest on are recorded, video. Have I posted any of these videos? No. And because editing is a lot, I'm super like OCD, so I don't have the time to edit audio and then
mhm,
turn around and edit video with the audio attached to it.
yeah.
So I've been just like having my logo up there and then, people can listen. But I do have a lot of clips. I plan on like, like doing little clips of episodes and stuff like that. But I don't think I'll be uploading. I don't know. People want it though. They've been asking me for it. So
Okay.
I don't know.
So what's the YouTube channel? We gotta get the name.
What is it? Tall Girl Tuesday, the podcast. Yeah,
Tall Girl Tuesday, the podcast on YouTube. So check
on
out.
YouTube.
Yep,
Hmm.
check her out. Definitely check Danny out. So Danny,
Thank
I want to talk about how you became because I've always been a solo podcaster.
Okay.
I just want to touch on that if you want to just yeah. Molly, have you always been a solo podcaster or have you?
I've always been solo. I just always have guests on with me.
Okay, so just a little background. When I started really following Tall Girl Tuesday, there were two people
Mhm.
on this show. There was a different dynamic. So, yeah, I just want to know a little bit about that.
So, first and foremost, it was always supposed to be solo. It was always
Okay.
me, my vision, everything was all me. This was my baby. So, in talking to that other person who we will not name,
Mm-hmm.
they decided to invite themselves on. Like, you know what? I've been wanting to do one. Let's do it together. And I'm like, okay, why not? And but at the same time, I was doing everything. I'm the editor. I'm 99.9% the decision maker. And then it was more like like I told you guys earlier, I'm always thinking 2 steps ahead. So when I'm thinking
Right.
of in terms of my logo, and I found this wonderful Black man to do my artwork, I had paid for 2 logos from the beginning. I said, because you never know. So I paid for my 2 logos. I had that one on deck, and things went left. And it wasn't even. It was literally something so childish, and it's like, some people are just so uncouth. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I'm not going to allow on my platform, because it is an LLC. Like, if I'm doing it, I'm doing it all the way. So
Right.
Tall Girl Tuesday is me. So if anybody decide they want to try to use my name, my likeness, my logo, anything, there will be consequences to pay. So with all that being said, it was just not a good fit, because my vision was what my vision was, and I was open to suggestions and all of that, but the person wasn't really bringing anything to the table. And so it's like, I'm over here, busting my butt to make sure my vision is, perceived the way I want it to be, and that, everything is to my liking, and that just wasn't happening.
That's why, like, I did it the way that I did it. I didn't really tell anybody about it until it was like out, because I didn't want anybody else to put them interject their thoughts or themselves into
Smart.
something that I wanted, that it was my creative baby. Like, it was something that I wanted to do, with how I wanted to do it, and if it was something that I needed to learn and grow and develop and figure out how to do, that I wanted to do that by myself. Because like you said, some people don't bring as equally yoked as much as you bring to the table. So
Right.
that's a struggle in itself. So yeah, I was just like, that right there was like a early solidification on like my decision. And I was like, okay, you're doing the right thing and what you wanted to do. Because that's how I've always like learned. Like, I just watch people and just like, I don't have to go through it myself. Like, I just will pay attention. And I didn't have to know details or anything like that. It was just like, this is what happened, and then this is what happened, and you made your right decision. So
Right.
you know, did you ever, Molly, did you ever think about being a 2-person podcast? Like, you've always just thought about just you?
I did think about it with my friend. She actually lives in Texas, so that was kind of like a big thing too, because I wanted to do a lot of visual episodes, and you can do the visual like through Zoom and all those other apps, but I like the dynamic of like 2 people being in the same room and just the chemistry that they have. And the friend, she's my best friend, so we always like fight and differ like in opinion. So I don't think it would have created like a problem or anything like that, but I just chose to do it solo, and then just like I said, just have different guests on with me and just talk about things. But I think if I were to have done it, it would have been with someone that like maybe I was really close to where we already have different opinions on things, that it wouldn't necessarily create any more, hostility or anything like that with us, because we already differ on a lot of things. But it is hard, like behind the scenes, trying to if you are two people and one person is doing everything and the other person isn't. So it's just like, I might as well just do everything by my doggone self.
Absolutely.
Correct, because it's a lot. It really is. I don't know. And you want to, especially in these times, you want to foster and uplift each other and women and so on and so forth. But sometimes it's a little difficult because of the competition or the whatever the animosity is or the conflict is that causes that wedge and causes that unbalance. My Libraism has to come out, that unbalanceness between people, and it does cause unnecessary conflict. So yeah, I don't know, I took some time off, so this is obviously my first recording since I took some time off, but I was just thinking about all of those things while I took my little break. And yeah, I wanted to just get some feedback on that. And Danny was one of the people that I knew started off as a duo and now has become a one-person podcast. So ladies, I really have enjoyed you guys on the show. I want to go ahead and give people another chance of getting your information. So let's start with Danny. I want YouTube and podcasts and all other information so that everybody knows where to find you.
Okay, so on Instagram and Twitter, I'm Tall Girl Tuesday. On YouTube, I'm Tall Girl Tuesday, the podcast. And on Facebook, I'm Tall Girl Tuesday podcast. And my email address is tgtthepodcast@gmail.com.
And Danny is looking for anybody for September, right? You've already filled up your August. Okay. So anybody that wants to chat with her in September, go ahead and hit her up via her socials. I saw some cooking stuff on her page as well. So you're going to get some things on. I saw you drinking and the cigars. And I'm like, that's my type of friend. I'm like, why are you not in Phoenix?
Yeah, I have a separate page for that. Food, drinks, and cigars. Yep.
Yes. Okay. That's my type of girl. I just wish we're not in the same location. But yeah, so that's amazing. So you guys definitely check her out on all of her platforms. Molly, where can we find you?
On Instagram, it is Molly with the most. On Twitter, it's Molly W_the most. On YouTube, it's Molly with the most. And look, I had to think. I think that's all of my pages. And if you want to email, it's mollywiththemost@gmail.com. You can always write letters in if you want to get things off your chest. If you need advice, you can write those in and I'll read them on the show. And yeah, so mollywiththemost@gmail.com.
Awesome. And you guys know where to reach me at Just Call Me Bossy on Instagram or Champagne Therapy, the podcast. I'm also on Twitter at Champagne Bossy. It's been a pleasure having you all on the show. It's been a great
pleasure to be here.
It's been a pleasure. I know it's late where you guys are, so I really appreciate it. And I want you guys to keep being safe and keep doing great things. You guys check them out and let them know that I sent you. Okay.
Thank
Y'all have
It's been real.
It's been real, ladies. Have a good night. All right.
Good night.
All right. Bye.
Bye.